All right. I certainly hope and pray that all is well. Good evening, everyone. Hope that you had a wonderful day and that you're continuing on to have a wonderful day. All right. So, the other night, I did a talk. What was I talking about? Shit, I don't even remember. Some reading I did. I think it was the last time I came on, or maybe the time before that. But I made a comment about, I shared a little thing about how when I was younger, teenage years, growing up, me and my brother, we used to laugh because this woman used to call us all the time. She used to call that house, or rather, our house, not us personally, all the time asking for Betty. Is Betty there? That's how she would answer the phone. No, hello. We say, hello, is Betty there? All the time. Now, I mainly remember this during my teenage years. And it was lasted for years. But I do remember one time she stopped for a while. Then she started calling back. And I remember us talking about that. She calling again. And I just couldn't, we used to just laugh and laugh and laugh about that because she sounded like some old woman on the other end. And we just assumed this woman just can't get it together and realize this is not Betty. Okay. Betty don't live here. You understand what I'm saying? And you keep calling the same number over and over and over again. And ain't no motherfucking Betty here. Okay. I just couldn't figure out, even though we joked about it, I couldn't figure out for the life of me, why does she keep calling? Why does she keep calling consistently, asking for Betty? And we didn't have an answer machine or anything like that. Okay. Now, given the nature of my life and the things that I have gone through and so on and so forth, and me putting the puzzle pieces together, after I got off the line, because I hadn't thought about that in the longest, and I don't even know what triggered it in my thinking when I was talking the other night. Okay. Oh, when that person called me, that Shayla Fletcher person, that's what it was. But when the next day, I started thinking about that, is Betty there? And I started laughing. But then I thought to myself, wait a minute. Why would a person, that lady wasn't that old, that lady wasn't that out of her mind, okay? Why would a person steadily call over and over and over and over and over again asking for Betty? And I said, guarantee you there's something to that, okay? Because I came to the realization a few weeks back that there have been things in my life, and I'm not talking about so much my adult life, yeah, but I mean my years, my youthful years, child, of course, 33, teenager, that were orchestrated. Okay. I get these people come to me periodically and give me little tidbits here and little tidbits there. Okay. So, for those of you who are new here, this is what I'm using tonight for my pendulum. What is yes? Okay, thank you. Stop, please. What is no? Okay. Thank you. Stop, please. Let's see if it'll do it tonight. What is maybe? Oh, yeah, it was doing that. It was I don't know that it was. Okay, a circle, as you can see. Okay, let me see. Stop. Okay, what is I don't know? Okay, it's a little freer flowing tonight with the I don't know. But I don't know if you can really tell from the camera. This goes in diagonal. Okay, to the right. From left to the right. Okay, there it is. Okay. All right. During my younger years as a child and a teenager, maybe even young adult, were there things that happened in my life that were orchestrated? Okay. All right. Now, one thing that I look, and I think, how could that have been orchestrated? Wasn't that particular thing my choice? Wasn't that particular thing my decision or whatever? Okay. I don't know. I don't know how these things work. Okay. All right. Was my attending Howard University orchestrated? I have a person who is he does astrology charts. Okay. All right. Hold on. Yes. I'm doing a live bit. Okay, what you need? Right there. You know it's cold out there. Okay. What you gotta get?
The boxes I left them.
Oh, I thought you brought them up. Okay. But there's 3 in there.
Okay.
All right. Okay, anyway, sorry. Okay, I have a friend that works, he's an astrologer, he does astrology charts. But he goes a little deep. Okay, I've never seen anybody do the work, do that kind of work in a way that he does. So he has shared some things with me, okay, that have, light bulbs going off. Okay. All right. Now, why would I ask, was that orchestrated? I'll get to that in another video. Okay. But that was one thing I realized. I said that was like, it was orchestrated here. Okay. Now, I ain't saying orchestrated by the lady that raised me. And I might actually kind of, hold on. Okay. Feel slightly uncomfortable calling this lady this. Okay, lady who raised me. But I usually call her the FM for the fake mama. Okay. But I think I'm going to start calling her the nanny, because that's what I was told. She's not your mother. She's your nanny. This was years ago. This was before I even got on Facebook. I mean, YouTube, the very first time I got on YouTube. Okay. So let me just ask this. Was the lady who raised me, okay, was she a nanny to me? Okay. This is not being said in a condescending manner, even though she did some diabolical shit and continues to try. Okay. All right. That's yes. All right. Was she told, I don't know, was she told that that would be the role that she would play in my life, a nanny, as opposed to a mother? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Sapi. So when I was placed in her care, was I placed in her care with the understanding that she would be more of a nanny as opposed to a mother? Okay. All right, thank you. Stop, please. Did she know this, that that was the role she was to play? Okay. All right. Thank you. Stop, please. Okay. So, my birth mother wasn't there. So a child, whoever the female caregiver is, they're going to call them mama. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Mama, mommy. Okay. Mother. Okay. Just, was I supposed to be told at some age, I guess of understanding or whatever, that she was not my birth mother? Okay. All right. Thank you. Stop, please. This was was this something that was agreed upon by the adults, my birth father, her lady that raised me, and my biological mother and her family? Yes. Okay. But they never told me. Okay. I was never told. All right. So if I call her that, it's not out of any kind of disrespect. There's that energy in here again. I don't know if you guys see. I don't know if it's the screen. Maybe it's the camera or whatever, but whatever. We're not going to worry about it. It's not 4-4. It's not to be said in a condescending manner. Okay. All right. Let's move on here. Okay. Back to this Betty thing. So I'm beginning to feel like I'm under the impression here that some of the things, and I really feel like more so when I was really, really young, really small, Okay. Maybe even before I started school, period. Okay. Like, preschool, kindergarten, that type of thing. Okay. I went to the Montessori first and then skipped kindergarten straight into the first grade. I don't know if that was something that was orchestrated, but I can ask. Okay. Cleveland is a very unusual place, all right? Was that something that was orchestrated, me skipping the kindergarten and going straight into the first grade? Okay. Interesting. That just crossed my mind. Okay. And I want to do another video on why I think how a thing is and why that is. Okay. Um, what else? Okay. You know how I remember I was listening to somebody recently. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about this. I'm born in 1972, so early 70s, okay, 70s, 80s. They were talking about I think they said the Gateway program or something like that. I don't know. Okay, I think that's what it was called. But I do remember when I was really small. Okay, this would probably be like maybe I went to one school from, excuse me, first grade to the third grade. It was, excuse me, I'm sorry. My bed, I got this fall fur blanket and it kind of sheds a little bit. Okay, it was called Bethlehem Lutheran School 55. And I remember sitting in class sometimes and kids being called out, okay, to go work with some teacher or some person, okay. I always remember thinking, I wish they would call me out. And I do think I was called out. So I think there might have been some things that happened during that time. I'm not saying like abuse or nothing like that. Okay, maybe tests they might have done it on many of the children, the school children, and whatnot during that time period. Maybe in school, maybe other places possibly, but I couldn't say. Okay, I just know that was the time that I felt very. When I said it felt very strange to me, my world felt very strange. It was during when those years when I was very, very small. The whole everything felt weird and strange to me, but I just accepted it as it was. All right, so back to Betty. Okay, so when I the next day after I did the video, I was thinking to myself, why would somebody keep calling over and over and over again as with the same thing? Is Betty there? you know. And I thought to myself, it may be more to that than you think, than what you thought. Just some old ass woman somewhere looking for her friend Betty and just can't remember her phone number. I said, I'm going to have to think about that. What does the name Betty mean? Okay. So before I got a chance to look up what the name Betty meant, and I did pull it up. No, that's not. I don't want to take that down. I remember there's this guy that I watch, and I spoke about him the other night, but I didn't say who he was, and I'm not at this particular time. I'm not going to. Okay. And he was talking about something. Well, I'm gonna look up the name Betty first, the meaning. Okay. The name Betty is a classical diminutive of Elizabeth, originating from Hebrew. Interesting. Okay. That's something to make note of. Meaning, God is my oath, God's promise, or pledged to God. Evolving as a popular nickname in medieval times, it became a standalone name in English-speaking countries, symbolizing devotion, strength, like Queen Elizabeth I, and an all-American spirit with modern uses as a full name or nickname, origin and meaning. Again, we just said it. Hebrew roots derived from Elisheba. Okay, Elisheba, meaning God is my oath or God is my abundance. English evolution, become a common nickname for Elizabeth, then a standalone name popular in the 18th and 19th centuries. Symbolisms and associations, biblical, like the link to the mother of John the Baptist, royal/historical, associated with royalty, Queen Elizabeth I, and notable figures like First Lady Betty Ford. Okay, I mean that's not a name you hear too much nowadays, Betty. Okay, All American gained popularity as an iconic name during the mid 20th century, evoking World War II pinup girls and classic charm, Betty Grable, and then we have Betty Boop. Okay, who I believe the original Betty Boop was black. Okay, usage primarily a feminine name, but occasionally used for boys in America. Functions as a full name or nickname for Elizabeth, Beth, or Bethany. All right, now I was watching this guy tonight. I mean earlier today. Okay, and it's a three-part thing I was listening to. Listen to the first part, then listen to a couple Chero videos, and then I thought I hit part 2, but it was part 3. So what he started talking about in part 3, which is something I've never heard of before, was the National Reconnaissance Office. Okay, I have never heard of that before. Okay, I'll go just a second. I'm going to get to what I'm getting to. Reconnaissance means military observation of a region to locate an enemy or ascertain strategic features. Okay. All right. Shit. Okay. So the National Reconnaissance Office is a U.S. How many people have heard of that? Okay, I don't have the comments open. Is a U.S. intelligence agency that develops, builds, launches, and operates the nation's intelligence satellites, providing critical space-based surveillance, imagery, signals, etc. for national security, military, and policymakers, working closely with the Department of Defense and the intelligence community. Essentially, the NRO creates America's eyes and ears in space to monitor global threats and support U.S. operations. Key functions and responsibilities: develops and operates systems, designs, acquires, launches, and manages advanced space reconnaissance platforms, collects intelligence, gathers imagery intelligence, IMINT, signals intelligence, SIGINT, and other forms of space-based data, supports U.S. security, provides crucial intelligence for the armed forces, policymakers, and various government agencies, partnerships, collaborates with other IC members like the CIA, DIA, NSA, and commercial entities. Part of the intelligence community, the NRO is a vital member of the U.S. intelligence community. It's a Department of Defense agency staffed by both DoD and CIA personnel. Its mission is to provide critical space-based intelligence for national security, ensuring information superiority for the U.S. Okay, all right. So what he was talking about in the video, he was talking about this organization here, but for the various launches, they had numbers: launch 32, launch 49, launch whatever. And with each launch, there was a different patch, okay, with a lot of symbolism and all this kind of stuff on it, okay, of course, okay, everything is symbology. I'm listening to it while I'm driving. And the one launch, he named one. It was launch 49. Okay. Now, one thing about this patch, launch 49. Okay. On that particular patch, that specific one, it was a figure that he said either was like a demon or a demonic-like figure, or maybe like a fallen angel. Okay. Because the phrases on the patches were things like, in Latin, with one of them, which I've seen that phrase before. I can't think of it right now. It's not on the patch that I'm talking about, but it meant a higher than the Most High. That's what the fuck it said. Higher than the Most High. Another patch said, we control the night, or something like that. All right. This particular patch that I'm talking about, 49, it was a being on it. Okay, he said it like a demonic figure or a fallen angel, and it, described everything on there. But guess what they named the being? Betty. He said that this demonic-like figure or fallen angel that they named Betty. And I said, yeah, I knew there was more to this than meets the eye. Okay. Now, I don't know if where I'm going with it is just it. Okay, for this woman calling constantly, no, consistently asking, is Betty there? Okay. Or if there's even more to it than that. Okay. But I'll just go with what I have. Okay. For tonight. And I said, wow. Okay. What do we say here? The synchronicity, right? Okay. Another thing about the patches, the majority of the patches always had four symbolized in some way, shape, or form, whether they were four stars. One of them had four rockets. Okay. And he said that the four, he thinks, I don't think he was 1000% for sure, but the four stars or whatever would represent the areas from where the launches occurred, four different areas. So I naturally thought north, east, south, and west. He didn't say that though. Okay. Now let's look at the number 4 here real quick. The number 4 generally represents stability, foundation, order, and the physical world here, okay? And this is what that's about, the physical world, okay, and order, all right? Stemming and foundation, to protect a foundation of something, okay? And stable, make sure everything's stabilized, okay? And here, even in what it's representing, we have 4 words: stability, foundation, order, and the physical world. Well, 5, but physical world as 1, okay? Do y'all see that? I don't know if that's in the room or on the and the other night when I did it, and I said, do y'all see this shit going on, and I said, maybe, I don't know, maybe they don't see it, but I looked at the video and I was like, oh, I see it. Okay, but anyway, stemming from the natural occurrences like the 4 elements, okay, seasons and compass directions, and appearing in spiritual contexts like Christianity, the 4 gospels, the 4 beasts, Buddhism, the 4 noble truths. It symbolizes security, hard work, discipline, and building something solid, often linked to the square and cross shapes. You have the elements: earth, air, fire, and water. 4, right? Directions: north, south, east, and west. 4, right? The 4 cardinal points. You have the seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. 4. And you have time based off what? 4 phases of the moon, 4 quarters in a football game. And spirituality and religion general represents the material world, stability, and the body. Okay? And the body is what? 4 here: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. 4 yet again. Christianity, the 4 gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and the 4 beasts in Revelation. Judaism and Passover, 4 cups of wine, 4 questions, 4 sons. Buddhism, the 4 noble truths. In mathematics and logic, the smallest composite number, not prime, and the first perfect square. Okay, the square that and that the part of the Masonic thing or whatever. Okay, represents order and logic. The square of opposition and Aristotelian logic. In numerology, symbolizes hard work, discipline, practicality, and creating a small base for the future. And even in that, you have these four ideas: what? Hard work, discipline, practicality, creating a small base for the future. 4 yet again. Another context can represent a request for 4 of something. Okay. I also saw that somewhere 4 represents, here it is, like destruction, endings in a way. Okay, more so destruction. Here, let me see if I can find it real quick. Here we have, I'm seeing death. Okay. Yes, the number 4 can represent destruction or death here, particularly in East Asian cultures, China, Japan, Korea, where its pronunciation sounds like the word for death. Okay. I'm seeing SHI, she. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, okay? Leading to avoidance in buildings, phones, etc. All right, and then it goes into what I just read. Now, in this cultural aspect, okay, here, in Christian numerology, especially the Bible's book of Revelation, 4 can symbolize disorder or judgment leading to destruction, alongside themes of creation and completeness. Cultural and linguistic associations, death. China, Japan, Korea. The sound of 4 is similar to death, making it a strong symbol of bad luck, similar to omitting the 13th floor, which equals what? 4. And on that patch where Betty was, it was launch 49. 49. 4 and 9 is 13. 3 and 1 is 4. Okay? I'm not sure if that was the last patch he covered, okay, in his presentation, but nevertheless, let's get back to this. Making it a strong symbol of bad luck, similar to omitting, again, the 13th floor. Once again, 3 and 1 is 4 in some Western buildings. Examples: buildings skip the 4th floor. People avoid license plates with 4, and it's considered unlucky in East Asian traditions here. Okay. The book of Revelation, the number 4 appears frequently, sometimes linked to what? The 4 angels of destruction, loose for their work and representing the culmination of order. We talked about that. Stability, order, foundation. Okay. Here, 4 angels of destruction, loose for their work or representing the culmination of order. With disorder and destruction, there can be no resurrection without destruction. And Christianity, while also representing creation or completeness, 4 corners of the earth, 4 seasons, its use in Revelations connects to its judgment and the end times. Okay. All right. Other meanings for order and completeness in other contexts, like the 4 seasons or 4 directions, 4 signifies the created world and the divine order. Now, they talk about a lot in Masonry that 33 degrees is the highest, and there are other people to say absolutely not. Okay. That now, one thing this guy said in the presentation, and he was an occultist at a point in his life. Okay, that he said 33 degrees or higher. Okay. There are higher than just 33 degrees. I don't know anything about masonry except the basic shit that they talk about on here. All right. So that there are higher for 44. Okay. That there is actually, I'm not saying in the order of the Masonic order, but hell, I don't know. Right. I would think that if there is and don't nobody know about it. Exactly. All right. Then there needs not be an explanation for that. Exactly. Okay, because there's belief that the master numbers, the 11s, the double numbers, that 33 is the highest, but there are others, occultists, who say no, it goes higher than that. But that is not some information that is widely known. Okay. Now, you see I have on the title of my channel, Let's Get Into It, 44. I am 44. My birthday is 4/4. Okay. Okay. 4/4. You find in, let me see if it's on here. If it's not, I'm not going to speak on it. What I'm looking for. Yeah. 4/4. Royal Games. I talked about that, but I haven't gone in any great depth with it at this point. Okay. The most Royal Games is you find in Gematria is 216. Cleveland itself, the area code is 216. For just Royal Games, the Gematria is 44. Okay. And kind of, I'm not going too in depth about this thing that was shared with me called the Royal Games or the most Royal Games. I'm giving bits and pieces, okay, until I can get my guests on to talk about it more in depth. All right. He's nobody on here on this app. Okay, for nosies and people who want to go looking. All right, and people who want to copy my shit. Okay, and then I go look at your channel and you done took my words word for word verbatim and then put a whole bunch of gobbledygook with it that people can't even understand, all the way over there in the fucking UK or wherever the fuck you are, and you motherfuckers won't even send me like $2 for a cup of coffee. Okay, you refuse to acknowledge. Okay, but don't worry, I'm making a list and checking it twice. All right, let's keep going here. So this thing with Betty, I realized I said that wasn't just no random woman calling you. Okay. Especially after I heard him say that, I said, no, that was not. Okay. The woman that would call our house consistently saying, not asking so much, well, yeah, I guess she was asking, but saying, is the Betty there? Okay. Was that just a random person who always had the wrong number? looking for someone named Betty. Of course not. Of course not. Whoever the woman was on the other end asking for Betty, saying it's Betty there, was that someone that we knew? Mm-hmm. Sure was. Didn't make sense. That don't make sense, do it? Absolutely. Okay. Was this someone who, the woman who was calling from the other end, was it a family member? A quote unquote family member? Someone I thought was family at that time? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Stop, please. Was it someone on my father's side of the family? No. Okay. So they do that shit in a different kind of way. Okay. Thank you. Stop, please. This woman that was my nanny, was it someone on her side? Okay. Was it one of her sisters? Okay. Thank you. Stop, please. Was it one of her sister-in-laws? Sister, nevertheless, right? Sister-in-law. Was it some kind of spell that they were working together? Okay. Now, understand. The lady who raised me, this nanny here, she worked when we were in school. She was my pastor, who was a bishop, his personal secretary. So she worked during the hours we were in school. Okay. She picked us up, or somebody picked us up, my grandmother, some shit. Okay. And then she worked a night shift at Cleveland Clinic from 11 to 7. Okay. So pretty much when we got home from school, okay, we went through a spell where we ate out every day, fast food. Honey, all the energies is in here tonight. They're just all in here, all over there, just everywhere. Okay. So I'm saying that to say, when we got home, she went to sleep. She went to sleep so she can get up to go to work from 11 to 7. Okay. Which some of this that needs to be is being called into question as well. All right. But we're gonna stick with this for right now. So I'm saying this, the people who were answering the phone, landlines, we're talking about the 80s, okay, was me and my sibling. Okay. So that's when the call would come. Okay. Okay. Was the spell that was being worked, was it on me and my sibling? Okay. Now see, I don't know how this should work. You would think it's better what that's supposed to do, but these people know. Okay. Hold on. I'm beginning to think that this woman here might have been some kind of high level witch. Okay. The only thing I can think of, just was the spell supposed to put enmity between me and my brother? Was that the purpose of that spell? Okay. Thank you. Stop, please. Did that spell have more purpose than that? Okay. All right. What, I don't know. Okay. That's all I got for right now. Okay. Was the sister-in-law who was doing the calling, was it my Aunt Jackie? Okay, she died of cancer. I still call her my aunt. You know, this lady who raised me on her side. Okay. All right. Which to me is just like some of these things that's coming to me. It's just so weird. It is just so weird to me. It is just so surreal. It is so weird. And it has just got me like, for real. Okay. And I tried to get as much confirmation as I possibly can. So it's not just okay, is this all in my head? You understand what I'm saying? For real. Okay. Um, some things I ask, like when I get on here, because it just comes to me. Some things I ask before I get on here, and those things I try to get the confirmation. Okay, first, like, wow, okay. This is some wild shit. Okay. Now I've asked if this woman who raised me was an Eastern Star. I got no. The lady who raised me an Eastern Star. No. Okay. No. Okay. Well, but was she a high level witch? Okay. I don't know if in the church or what. Okay, but I can ask. Okay. In the church, was she a high level witch? Church organization? No. Okay. I don't know what. Maybe just amongst her family. I don't know. Okay. Was it solely amongst her family? Okay. So we're saying yeah. Okay. So I don't know how that works. Do you have to be initiated? What determines you high level? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Okay. All right. The lady who I said named as my aunt, Jackie, she was an in-law. She died of cancer, breast cancer. Maybe I was maybe in high school, maybe like a senior in high school. I'm trying to match times and stuff, what I remember. Because my grandmother, who was my father's stepmother, was one of her caregivers when she was ill. So I really don't know. I can't remember the time period. Now, I am a medium. I talked to this woman years ago. Okay. Truth is stranger than fiction. Okay. And she said something to me that I didn't think was possible. And I did share on my channel that I had ZMBD, that stupid ass Brianna Jill Bellamy thought she was going to make fun of, and she don't even know what the fuck that stands for. But anyway, right now I'm not going to share it again. Okay. Until I get more information about it. I haven't talked to her since that time. Okay. But we're going to do a reading on this. See, this is more than just, these, my birth mother, white woman, come from a wealthy family, old money, they left something for me, and these people done took it. Okay. That's part of it. There's more to it than meets the eye. And something about this city, it's interesting. It's strange, it's weird. Now, I meet a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people. Very outgoing. I don't go out a lot, like partying and shit like that, but I'm a very outgoing person. I meet a lot of people who are not from here. And one thing they say about this city, it is consistent, and even the people that are from here say it. People here are very mean, rude, very like a hateful heart. The jealousy is extreme here. Okay. There was a woman who told me one time that there was a story that supposedly what they had done to the native people in this particular area was especially cruel and heinous, and that they put a curse over the area. Okay. I don't know. Cleveland had it going on at one point in time in history. Okay. The area that I lived in, where my grandmother's house was, there were, it was in the hood. So, people go around, they want to buy your house. We're going to give you 10000 we're going to give you $20,000 cash for the house, okay? So I had some men come look at the house, and they said to me that most people don't know, the house is not far from the lake. Those houses, they told me, they're like two-family houses, okay? And they said, I pretty much think all of them are, that those houses really, first of all, those houses were made for temporary residents, not like long-term residents. You can get 30, 40 years, okay? They were made because of whatever work they were doing, because again, it's right by the lake. It's not far from the lake, okay? Back in the day when they were made for temporary workers, okay? Whatever the work was that they were doing in the area, I don't know, okay? Historically. But these other men told me that most people don't know, but that those houses house a lot of kind of in a prisoned kind of a sense, some of the native people to the area. That's where they put them and kind of held them in somewhat of a kind of a captivity. Okay. Very strange happenings in the area. You can feel it when you go down there. I met a guy who came here one time, and he said this city is very dark. And I said, what do you mean? He said, it's very spiritually dark here. And I said, how can you tell? He said, I felt it as soon as I got off the plane. I said, wow, really? He said, yes. So this thing with the hateful heart, the very nasty, it's some wonderful people here. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying every single person you meet. Absolutely not. Okay. It's like this general air, especially the people that I would think are maybe on the less economically advantaged side. Okay. But it's a lot of money in the city, and it's a lot of old, super old money in the city. Okay. It's sometimes you can pass by places and you can just look and see it's some shit going on over in that motherfucking mansion, in that old ass mansion, in the probably tunnels and all that type of shit you be seeing on these movies and whatnot. Okay. It's some beautiful shit, structures, castles and shit right in the middle of the city. Okay. The heart, again, state is shaped like a heart, placed in the same area the heart is on the human body, just like the city itself is placed in the same area in the state. Okay. You can come through with your bullshit and try to say something else is just because you're following behind me because you're watching my videos and what I'm saying, whatever. I said what I said, and I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay. You can come through and copy my words and talk about the fourth conjunction of the sun on the left side of the moon and all your gibberish bullshit. Copying me word for word, doing nothing but confusing people. I know you've been paid. Okay? But I have not been. Over there in the UK, wherever the fuck you are. Your lying ass. It's a very, again, interesting place. Okay, a lot of money here. And not just, people always talk about the Rockefellers and their time here. There were more people here with of that abundant old wealth during that time period that lived here in this city. There's a reason they cut my video short when I did that video on them statues over there. Okay. All right, so we're going to do a reading. This not about this city. I'm just saying, okay. 216, you got the royal games. 404, endings, death, destruction. There can be no resurrection without destruction. Foundations, okay, stability, so on and so forth. And the most royal games, 216, okay, which equals 9. And 9 just happens to be my life path number. Okay, so let's see what we get here. How many more of these do I need to do? Just one more butterfly shuffle. Okay, we'll do a 3-way split. Okay, so who's here? Who are these people? And sometimes I think to myself when I talk to people and they tell me this shit about it's a nice city, I like it here, I met some wonderful people, but at the same time there's some very hateful, bitter, scorned people here. And there are people here who are from here who say the same shit, and I'm like, it didn't used to be like that here. It wasn't always like that here. What the fuck happened? The people were not always like that here. And again, the jealousy here is extreme. That crabs in the barrel mentality. Okay, let me see. One. Let's shuffle. Okay. Seven of Cups. Let's just see what we get. Knight of Pentacles. The Devil. Nine of Swords. Okay. The Star. Yet they have these billboards everywhere saying, always protecting you. And it's interesting because since I've done that video, not long after that, I haven't seen those billboards anymore. Isn't that something? I did for a short period of time afterwards, and now I don't see them anywhere. Okay. All right. But they got the video short, but I don't even see them shits no more. All right. I'm hearing like the fantasies over, the parties over. Okay. There are no options. I'm hearing you've run out of options and you've run out of time. Okay. This is probably speaking to this is Betty there. Okay. You've run out of options. You've run out of time. Whatever you're trying to do, this devil energy, okay, is no longer, it's not going to work. Okay, it's not going to work for me, you, and nobody else. Okay, you wide open, a wide open book. Okay, I'm hearing that folks see you for who and what you are and what you've done, what practice you have made. Okay, or I feel like that's saying, you know, what it is that you practice here. Okay, not cleansed. Okay, not made new. The opposite of cleansing. Okay, being made new. I'm even hearing restoration. There will be no restoration of the matter. It's over, said, and done with. You tried your best. You did the best that you possibly could. Okay, but it's over now. Here we have the King of Wands. Okay, let it go is what I'm hearing. The Moon. Okay, but you refuse for some reason. Here we go. Seven of Swords. Two of Swords. I'm hearing you're going to lie till you just can't lie no more. Okay, I'm hearing you're stuck and you're bound. Okay, you're bound by the words that you said. I'm hearing something about the clause. Okay, you made some kind of clause or something or other with someone. Okay, and now you're bound by it, so you're sticking to it. Your world and realm of lying. And I'm hearing like you know you lied. Okay, and someone might be saying this to you. Okay, this is to the lady who raised me. Someone might be saying this to you. Okay, you've lied. Okay, one too many times, and it's over. Give it up. Okay, now this thing here, I don't even feel like this was more so for my sibling as it was for me. This spell, this Betty there, whatever, was that more so for me as opposed to him, my brother? Okay, yes. Okay. I'm hearing stick to it, stick to your guns. Okay, stick to itness or something. Okay, but anyway, okay. I'm hearing give it up, stop lying, let it go. This King of Wands in reverse here. I'm hearing master deceiver. This man here, this person was a master deceiver. Okay. He was not a leader as you thought, was not divine as you thought. Okay, and I don't think in a good sense. Okay, he lets people think divine. Okay, they always think good. Okay, not as strong as you thought, not as omnipotent here. Interesting. Okay, 77 as you thought. Whatever, it's interesting. You both, I'm hearing you both thought of each other as liars and frauds. Okay, you knew that you were so many secrets, so many hidden things. Okay, but I'm also hearing something about hidden talents. Okay, a sworn, I feel like maybe sworn to secrecy, an oath here was taken, but I also hear broken, an oath broken. You broke an oath, you broke a promise, something you promised to either say or do, and you broke it. Okay. There can be no reward here, I'm hearing, for your breaking of a promise, okay, or this oath. I feel that was made. Okay. And I like what I was saying about the people, you know, this thing that I've experienced with these people here, just something extreme and ridiculous with no foundation in anything, all based on lies. I'm hearing discrepancy, probably there's probably some bigotry somewhere. Okay, somebody knew that my birth mother was white. Okay, although I didn't know. Okay, but someone new here, and probably some bigotry. Okay, racist or racism, racist ideas, ideology. She ain't gonna be nothing. She ain't gonna have nothing. This is what I'm hearing. Okay, this is the spirit here and the energy as far as I'm concerned. Okay, she ain't going nowhere. That type of thing. Okay, I'm gonna keep her here locked down right here with me forever and a day. Okay, with all this attitude. Okay, with it. But I'm also hearing she doesn't belong to you. So I feel like maybe you were told, okay, she doesn't belong to you and you know it. You have to let her go and you have to move on. But I'm here, but I won't. I'm going to try till my dying day. Okay. All right. I'm hearing the envy. It's like the envy is real. The hate is real. Okay. This child has done nothing to you. Okay. She hasn't hurt you. Okay. Some about strung you out or strung you along. She hasn't done that. Okay. She hasn't caused you any mayhem, problems, confusion, nothing. Okay. You just hate. You just have a heart full of hatred, okay, toward another being that does not belong to you. Okay. See, like I said, these people in her family, and I don't think it's just her family alone. Like I said, a lady told me in her age group that they all do this. Okay. That's some good stuff. Okay, do things to try to keep their girls bound. Okay, from control, keep them codependent on them so that they cannot fly, they cannot soar. You can't get to the truth of yourself if you're in that kind of energy, codependent on someone else. Okay, you'll never be. It's like the true you will never be. Okay, how can it be? Okay, you're codependent. Okay, a toxic dependency on another human being. Okay, who you let have control and dominance. I'm hearing over your life and over your well-being. Okay, this is her. I'm hearing. Okay, this is what she has done. Okay, to you and others. Okay, or she tried to do it to me. Okay, I'm hearing she tried to manipulate you into it. Okay, but you would not allow it to be. Damn sure wouldn't. Okay, no, absolutely not. Okay. All right, let's keep going here. Okay. Hold on, I can't think. Emotional, internal distance. That's for damn sure, honey. That's exactly how she is. You're very distant emotionally. Yeah. Wow. Dude. Okay, yeah. Sneakiness, deception, strategic thinking. Okay. Getting away with something. This is what you seek to do. Okay. What you've been trying to do. Okay. And you it's still like trying to, but I'm hearing you're bound to it. Stalemates, difficult choices, indecisions, like you're bound to it. Okay. You can't release it. You can't let it go. I'm wondering is ego and pride. I'm hearing partially so, but there's more to it than meets the eye. Okay. I don't know, maybe there's some fear about something surrounding this. You're afraid of letting go because what does that mean for me? Okay, so maybe there's something you've been doing all my life. Here I am 53 years old. That's a long time. Okay, to have a mission. I'm hearing and to fail at it. Okay, but I kind of feel like that you weren't supposed to do anyway. Okay. You're not supposed to do this, or you're not supposed to let it go this long. You were supposed to stop a long time ago, but you refused. This is what I'm hearing. You kept on going with it. Stalemate, I'm hearing. Okay. You chose this like bound, okay, or I'm hearing boundary, but like more so to be bound by something. Maybe you made a second oath, like two. Maybe these things were separate. Okay. And you bound yourself to something, regulate, I'm hearing. Okay, to regulate you. Something about your armor. You needed armor. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's because I'm hearing there are others involved. So maybe you use them like to shield, for a shielding, to shield you here. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing from what was not supposed to be cast. Of course, I'm going to cast your cares upon the waters. Okay, you need to let this go. Okay, remove your boundary. Okay, you bound yourself to remove yourself from. I feel like what you've bound yourself to. Okay, but I'm here like you can't. Maybe you physically can't, mentally can't, spiritually can't. Okay, but you're stuck and bound to this lie. Okay, you've lied. There's some kind of lie here. Obviously. Okay, let's keep going. Here we have the Four of Wands, the High Priestess. Okay, and the Eight of Pentacles. Interesting. There's that wand, that four again. Wands. I'm a fire sign. Okay, and here on the card is it's the Aries symbols, Venus and Aries. Okay, and the feminine principle here. Okay, the binding of the feminine. Okay, that could be what if what I'm saying has been done to if there's some kind of organization, underground network, or whatever the fuck, okay, um, and it has been done to a lot of the women here, young women, from my time period on, okay, that could be an issue with what we have, with what we're seeing here in this, what I'm saying, this city, the bitterness, the scorn, the anger, and all of that, the jealousy, okay, and all of that type of thing, because of the binding of the feminine here, the feminine principle, the Venus and Aries love here, okay, all right, right, ain't that what that is? Yeah, divine love, beauty, harmony. There's no harmony in that. Okay, values, desire, so on and so forth. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, home, the Four of Wands. Okay, home, a place when you home, you feel good, you feel comfortable. Your home, celebration, family, togetherness. Okay, a unity. Okay, harmony again here with the feminine principle I'm hearing, but the feminine principle being denied, okay, lied to and lied on, okay, by other, okay, feminines, okay, feminine principles here, okay. I'm here to void, okay, maybe to the void here, the nothingness, okay, which in a lot of ways is what it has become, okay. And I'm hearing what it still is, though there are, I feel like, structures here, things being done, built, so on and so forth, to keep it from being that. Okay, I know this was supposed to be about me, but Betty there, okay, but obviously in some way, in shape or form, it all comes together, okay, or it's all connected is what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's keep going. Here, values, okay, I'm hearing the values of the High Priestess here, the moon, once again, the feminine principle etched out, okay, I'm hearing like etched out in stone, okay, in other words, trying to do away with it permanently, but it cannot be done away with. Okay, this is something I think that has been being worked on again, maybe some kind of I don't know, underground secrets, secret shit. I don't know here, okay? The Lovers in reversed. Reverse, I said reversed. Queen of Cups. Okay, upright. And here the Five of Wands in reverse. The kind of thing that I have been talking about based off of how women could gang up on another woman and try to their best to torture her and terrorize her and destabilize her, talking about me, based off of the words of a man. Okay. Gangs of women. Okay. And even the girl that I talk about, the bleeding Z, even if she gave the word to the man, Okay. This what you could get if, or what, however it went. Okay. Yet the feminine still doing it to the feminine, the destruction of the feminine by the feminine. Okay. And have a lot of all this shit that we see on here. The destruction of the feminine by the feminine principle. Okay. No balance here. No true love here. How can there be? Okay. If the one aspect of the human, okay, is destroyed, demeaned, okay, looked at as having no value. I'm not talking about me as a person. I'm talking about the feminine principle, the feminine. If that aspect, Star Wars, goddamn, we need balance. We need balance. Balance back to the force. The yin and yang principle, both must exist. Okay, where can the love be? You don't love, you lust. Okay, after material things, and yet you don't understand and you don't see that, and you do it through war. You do it through the I'm not putting down the masculine, obviously, okay, but you cannot have the truth here. And then is it what it does to the masculine principle when the feminine principle is demeaned, destroyed, looked at as nothing, and all of that kind of stuff. It warps the masculine principle. It warps it. Okay. So how can there be love? And you lust in one thing for material things, and you look all, you can't even see that the world around you is falling to nothing. Okay. That is fucking falling the fuck apart. What future? This is what I'm saying. Yeah, people talking about my destiny, my destiny. Where will it be? What you envision, how can it be? Can't you see what's happening to the world around you that you live in? You can't. All of those things, you can call it conspiracy, you can call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay. You have a leader right now. There's no commentary on him as a person who is putting things in a place that look like, I'm like, really? Do we not see where this is headed? If this move continues on and is allowed, okay, I keep telling you, I need to watch, if you haven't, that documentary on the rise of the Third Reich. Okay, it's right the fuck here before our very eyes. I'm gonna be a superstar, make billions of dollars. That's what they want. My no, from looks of things, they're gonna have everybody in some fucking camps somewhere. What the man said, the lady told me today, the man said about the Obama stuff, they can work out in the fucking fields to get your fucking health care. He ain't by himself. Or is it, he ain't nothing gonna happen. Things gonna go back to normal. People can barely buy a carton of fucking eggs. Yet you mock, you broke. No, bitch, you're broke. The fuck are you talking about? Wake the fuck up, bitch. Everybody's fucking broke. You can barely afford their fucking rent. Old people mopping floors in fast food joints. Ain't gonna happen to me. Okay. The feminine here, like I said, how can it be the love? The feminine, the Queen of Cups, the love, the nurturing, the kindness, okay, the gentleness, the care, okay, the affection, okay, the nurturing. Copying off of people just for attention on a fucking app, to get bot comments and false followers. Forsaking yourself, forsaking your own soul, being your own truth, the own word that you've been given to truly help and assist others. Because I got to get that YouTube. Check that, probably in about 2 years. Then I'll be on here complaining to that YouTube fucking around with my shit. I ain't getting paid. Well, they told you it wouldn't last, but you don't believe it. And in this love together here, the nurturing, the feminine principle, the masculine principle, in balance, healthy, so on and so forth. There can be no conflict, competition, and all of that kind of thing, because therein is the truth, true love, true self, true you. Okay. All right. Without it, what it leads to here is this brokenness, okay? And this does lead to the enmity between me and my brother, the feminine and the masculine principle, okay? Where there was absolutely no reason that me and this man should not have gotten along and should have disliked one. It was just weird. It didn't make any fucking sense. Well, I couldn't even understand it. What is the problem? There is an anger here. There is a tension here. There's something here that ought not be. Why is it like this between us? Nothing devastating has happened between us. Okay. The daddy gone, maybe he mad about that or some shit like that. But I was nurturing, I was caring, I was loving and kind in those moments when he was crying tears. We are typical brother and sister. What is the problem here? The feminine and the masculine principle, once again, being put at odds with one another. And ma'am, you have contributed to that. Okay. To your own, I'm hearing note 4, death and destruction. Okay. Your own seed. Your seed. Okay. And those that come after you, your grandchildren. And further down the line. Okay. Broken, not broken, what was I saying? It's not just here in this city, it's fucking everywhere. Okay. But 216, this is probably the grounds, the grounds here for what is called the Royal Games. Okay. And what will the results be here? The king of when they are both in balance, what will the results here be with the 3 of Wands? Okay, what will we have? Okay, we will have care, love, and affection between the two, the feminine and the masculine principle, the king of Wands and the queen of Wands, like I said before. Stop your togetherness. Stop your love. Okay, you're easier to control and manipulate that way. Okay, when you hate each other. Okay. And this is what there are people in our world, this woman who raised me being one who have contributed to the demise of the society, okay, through their own through their seed and through being him, and through she was paid to look after and to care for. Okay. All right. Okay, where the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, where that seed here. Interesting. Hold that. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong. No, yeah, I'm looking at the right thing. Wasted chance, ruined hope, success in business is temporary, disappointment, adversities, hard work, need. It's a need here. What is the need? That the emperor and the empress be here in the upright, okay, for the society here. Okay, to bring balance back to itself, some kind of hope, okay, in this world, in this place, in this society. Here, people think, oh, we don't have no control over that. The powers that be, this what they doing to us. No, it is called the Royal Games. Okay, you may not like that. You may not like that. It's looked at, that ain't right, and that is a game, and that ain't right. Okay, you don't have to like it, but it is what it is. Okay. whether it be right, or it's not about it being right or wrong. It's about the fact that it is. Okay. I was driving one day, and I see more homeless people here than I ever have. And was never a lot compared. Like when I went to school in DC, oh my God, I was just like, wow, just everywhere. We talking about early 90s, okay? By the time I got to New York when I was younger, I just walked right. I was so used to seeing homeless people, just walk right over them. Just was used to seeing it, okay? But I've never seen as many here as I've been seeing lately. Still not as much as I saw in those cities even back then, okay? But really, let's be honest. The reality is there should be no such thing as a homeless person. The fuck are you talking about? There should be absolutely no such thing. There should be no such thing as a person who has no food to eat when the earth is abundant with food. There should be absolutely no such thing as someone telling me from another country the meat tastes like plastic. What is this world we live in this realm that we live in? Okay. These children killing children, all this crazy ass shit going on. Okay. And you're talking about how my destiny is. She want my destiny. I'll be billionaire. Nobody wants your shit. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. That's what you do. You be the first one they have down in them camps. And then as the nanny here, the matriarchal principal here, puts enmity between the assist here, between the masculine and the feminine, leading to the destruction here of the world that she herself lives in. What does it do? It breeds the enmity between the feminine and the feminine. I'm sure between the masculine and the masculine as well. Okay, so there's no unity anywhere. Easier, kill yourselves. In other words, these are the powers that be. Okay. Spiritual wickedness sitting in high places, basically saying, good, kill your fucking selves. We don't have to tell you to walk through the fucking back door anymore. Okay. Your motherfucking ass is just gonna walk through it. I don't have to do shit to you. You're just gonna end up killing yourselves. Okay. Your children and your children's children. Okay. And they just will sit back and watch. And then again, you'll copy my words. That's something that you think you know. But you do it not out of, I want to teach the people to. No, you do it out of some fucking YouTube style. They're going to really look it up to me. Not because you give a fuck about the people that are watching your channel. Who are looking, trying to understand what the fuck is going on. Okay, what can I do? Okay. All right. Okay. Here, Queen of Pentacles here. Okay, for finances, money. To be seen by something that hates your fucking guts any fucking way. Something that sucks you dry and sucks your soul dry, okay? And have you sitting somewhere bound, probably sitting somewhere now addicted to some kind of substance, okay? Because the mind cannot live with itself. Okay. And what is done, not just to me, but to your seed, to what you have contributed to the downfall. It's not them up there. They'll throw the shit at you, but you make the choice whether you take it or not. And you did. Okay. Maybe possibly, again, to be looked at as someone of some kind of status with some kind of fucking reward by, again, a spirit that hates your guts anyway and sucking and bleeding you dry. Maybe so that you feel that you're not stuck and bound here, okay? Maybe looking to bring yourself some kind of balance, okay? But the judgment is now here, okay? It's gonna be judgment, absolutely. And what's so interesting that the two that are not upright together are the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. one upright and the other not, where the male is looked at as weak, weakened. Okay, because the feminine principle has been once again destroyed or demeaned, so on and so forth. Those things that I said, and here again, there's no balance here. Okay, now the masculine principle is warped. Okay, he's looked at as weak. Okay, cannot protect, cannot provide. Okay, even useless. Okay, we no longer need you. You no longer have a function. Okay, where this is something that I'm not talking about the powers that be say, but it's set up so that the feminine principle will look at the masculine principle and say, I don't need you for shit. You have no use here. Okay. So, and what was the purpose of the male anyway? Okay. Of the masculine principle in human form. All right. I'm going to end it here. And here we have with the death card upright. And what did I say before? The sun in reverse. Here it is, the dream that I had, that I talked about, okay? I know that come to find out is in the manual. I know what the fuck I'm talking about here. The blocking out of the sun, the blocking out of enlightenment, the time where we can, there's more information in the law should allow right at our fingertips, yet it seems as though his humanity has become dumber than ever. Okay, backwards as ever here, the world, an end. Definitely to things as we know it, and that is going to be no matter what. Okay, but don't shit change if shit don't change, or what will change to the worst is if humanity, if people allow it to change. Okay, in their, yes, not just as a collective, but in their own individual lives, just like in our own individual lives, in that little house on Edmonton with that woman calling, talking about it's Betty Dere. This is what you have contributed to, where we sit now. Mass chaos and destruction. Okay? It's not about just me. You may think it is, but it's not. And see where people's minds are now. They don't give a fuck. Just give me them dollars for a couple of minutes. Okay? So I can be looked at with some kind of reverence and regard and respect for just a couple of minutes. Goddamn. Fuck the world. Okay? All right. Nevertheless, that's the end of that. You all have favor. Peace.